Hello. This morning I was not struggling, but I was wondering what message should I share with you. Some weeks it's kind of so evident, and some weeks I have two or three topics, and some weeks I don't know. And I look at the news, and one of the big thing it was Earth Day yesterday, and I said to myself, well, again talking about Earth Day. It seems that everything has been said, and nothing new that needs to be said. And maybe that's the problem with our context, our reality. We all know that we're living in a very dangerous time. We all know that there's a lot of pollution out there. We all know the amount of CO2 that we're releasing in the atmosphere that is not sustainable. We all know that, especially for us, North American, living in this part of this world, our carbon footprint is not sustainable. And we're not talking many centuries. We're not at that stage anymore. We all know all of this. And yet what have changed in the last few years, decades? Almost nothing. Almost nothing. We have all this information. Oh, yeah. There's some that still believe in this big, huge conspiracy that all the scientific community got together and got hoax. As someone told me, they never went to a faculty department meeting. That you get 3 4 academics in a room and you will have 6 different opinions and they will fight to death about it. So try to organize the academic community to get them on the same mind. It's almost impossible. So yes, there's those denial. But let's talk for people who have a brain and use their brain. We know it's not working. It's not sustainable. And we're doing not that much because we don't want to change. Let's face it. Let's face it. We don't want to change. And we kind of believe that it will magically disappear. Or we're gonna die before it's gonna be very difficult. So, not a problem. We don't want to change. We don't want to envision a different way of doing things or to pay the real consequences. There's been suggestion of taxes for carbon use. It's like, in other spheres of activity, you pay. If you use something, you pay for something. If you don't, you don't pay it. But when it comes to carbon footprint, no, 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 we don't want to do this. We complain because there's reserve ways for people with more than one people in their car, but we all want to be alone in our car. Still, we know it's not gonna work long term, but hey, my needs to be get there first. We don't want to pay more taxes or more for service to reduce the footprint of something. We want something cheap. We want something now. And tomorrow, well, tomorrow does not exist. We don't want it. Maybe that's the biggest challenge that we're facing right now. Maybe we don't want to see it because, hey, I'm just me. If the other one is bigger and, those big corporations or big, they're making a lot of pollution, so why should I do something and not them? So if they do something, I will do something. And the next person, what they say? If the other do something, I will do something. If, and so on. So I guess that's the biggest challenge we have right now as human being. Do we want to survive? Would be the first question, because I think we're reaching that point. We're talking about our survival here. because there's only one planet, Earth. There's things on the Earth that, in the news, that they may discover another planet that might offer condition for, that people could live there, but is light years away. Let's be serious. There's only one Earth. And we're reaching the point it's about survival. Maybe not ours, but survival of our children, survival of our grandchildren. That's a given. We're reaching that point. We're reaching that point if we're doing nothing. And if we're not ready to pay the price. Now that we know all those results, if we're not ready to pay the price, our survival is at stake. I think we reached that point if we want to be there for the long shot or not. It might be scary. It might be, oh my, we're doomed. Or it might be an opportunity. I don't think it's too late. But it's too late for doing nothing. It's too late to believe in some kind of magic will happen and it will change everything. And maybe that's the link we can make with the Easter story. Because Jesus was dead, not supposed to come back to life, somehow came back to life and something different emerged. And maybe that's we're reaching that point, that we're so afraid about letting go of our way of being or way of doing things. Yeah, it needs to die. It's not sustainable, but something else can emerge, a new life, a new way of being on this planet, a new way of being human being. And maybe that's the message. When Jesus said, when the gospel says, what the author says, don't be afraid. Be ready to be changed. Don't be afraid. And that's maybe what I'm calling all of us, not to be afraid of this change, that we will be forced to do it. Like it or not, we will have to change. We can be part of this change, we can be the victims of this change, but we will have to change. We can embrace it, we can resist it. It's up to us, like it was for the first disciple. Take care of yourself. Have hope. Be courageous. Live in the spirit of the resurrection. Have a great week. See you soon.